Have you ever had a day where things have gone smoothly and you've had a realization of where you've come from, or how a little bit of a clue on how things have got where they are? So today's that day for me, or one of the days for me. I'm Myola Woods. I'm the Erotic Coach. And today I had a realization of how I got here. How did I get to be an erotic coach? And I was blessed to have dinner with someone who was a friend of mine and attended my first ever teaching class, a meditation and psychic development class. And I would have been 24 then. And so just in case, I'm just a tad older than that, just a little tiny bit. And we were talking about, so she's had her life, and I've seen her over the years, but it's been a little while since we'd seen each other. And so we were catching up with, how life is and where things are at, and talking about how reminded me of where I've come from. So back in the day, my early 20s, I studied, energetic healing. So, we are talking 30 years ago. The things that, people take for granted that are okay now were not necessarily okay then. And so I was, doing meditation and yoga and consciousness training back in the day when, that wasn't very common. And, then I started to teach when I was 24 because I've been meditating for years. My mum took me through what we would now call yoga nidra from I was young. So meditation is very easy for me. And I was very blessed. So as we move into here, I remember that we sat for weeks. We would sit at people's houses. We moved from a learning environment in a college to someone's house, and every week we would sit. And I did that for years. Like I call it my apprenticeship in the spirituality world, the psychic world. And I would do readings all day. We would go to the psychic fairs and we'd do 20, 30, 40 readings a day. And energy healings. And I got to know people's bodies. I got to know messages. I got to know what was what, who was who. Which led me here. I would never have known that in the beginning. I would never have known that in those times that this is where I would end up. I've always had an interest in sexuality. I've always had an interest in changing the planet. I've always had an interest in consciousness being more than what it is. I've always had an interest of being the best you can be on the planet. And I've always been someone who has been willing to be uncomfortable in each of those phases. Now psychic development and meditation is kind of, if you don't do it or haven't got it, it says something rather than if you are doing it. But all the way through the different years, I've been at the cutting edge, of healing, of working on your inner selves, doing gestalt work, and then eventually leads me into the sexuality. Because I have been through my own hell. I have been through other people's hell. I've been a guide for people for some of their worst nightmares. And I still journey with people into their unconscious, into the parts of them that they don't want to see, into the parts of them that are scary. And people say, I can go here because of you. And today I got to remember where I started. And I've always, people have been a little bit scared of me, a little bit scared of what I could do, a little bit scared of what I know, or what I could know, or what they think I know. And where I come to now is when people want to go deep, when they want to know the things that are holding them back, when they want to face, when they are ready to face the demons, when they're ready to face the feelings, when they're ready to feel what they don't want to feel, they turn to me. They come to me and they say, can we go together? And people are often saying, I can do this because of you. I don't necessarily give myself that much credit in, people do, people are brave, and when they're ready, and we do it together. So I always see my work with people as a partnership and a collaboration, that we're doing it together. And it was such a joy for me tonight to realize where those meditations and those psychic developments and massage, where that got me, that I can, because really it's, kind of nearly 30 years later, the spaces and the places that I can hold for people so that they're not scared, because I'm not scared, because I'm not scared of anything. And I'm happy for people to, I'm really happy when we go to places that they didn't think they were going to go, or they didn't feel like they had the courage to go to, and we go, because the liberation that comes from going to places that we don't want to go to because we're scared, when we feel safe enough to go and when that space is held, that is amazing. Makes my heart glow thinking of all of those years, of all of the processes and working and the dedication that I've had to being uncomfortable, to doing the things that other people wouldn't do. And when I didn't take, advice from people who said, oh, that's a bit much, or that's not enough, and I did what was true to my own heart. Because today the work I do with people is phenomenal. And the people that step up to do the work with me are amazing beings. And I love it, and I wouldn't do anything else.